Hey everybody, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to get into blood pressure, and I'm going to be a personal guinea pig. So what I want to do in this particular video, I want to let you know what my blood pressure is. I'm going to let you know some of the things I may think it may be, what my doctor had recommended. I'm not taking any medication at this particular point in time. I am traveling away to another country. I'm going to be changing my diet, my habits, and there's a few things I want to try that I've seen online, and I want to share them with you. And I want to go through the process after a few months if they're actually going to do any work. So the advantage about this particular video is going to be the fact it's not just, scrolling through. I'm going to see what's going to be the effect on myself, on my personal blood pressure. And so it is 150 over 100 at the moment, and it has been for a little while now. I say a few months for sure. I don't know the last time. I don't know how far back. But anyway, in the past, my blood pressure was always really good. It was never a problem. In those last few years, it started creeping up. It was 140 where I thought, okay, maybe changing a few things might help and stuff. It's at a 150 now. So my cholesterol is also higher. I'm not going to take any cholesterol pills. It's actually significantly high. I'm going to try just changing a few things. Now, I'm not going to take any cholesterol medicine. I'm not going to take any blood pressure medication. I am in the next week. This is right now, September 3rd, I do believe, 2023. I'm going to be leaving for the Philippines in 3 days from now. I'm going to be there for 6 months. I am changing my diet significantly, and I'm going to see what all that does. One of the things I want to bring up, I've seen some research on a stress, not the stress ball, sorry, but squeezing this ball. They say it can lower your blood pressure up to 10%, which is pretty huge. Now, the way to do it properly, because that's another thing. I was scrolling through everybody saying, yeah, squeeze a ball, squeeze a ball. Well, maybe there's a format. What I did find, you're supposed to squeeze it and not super hard, like, anywhere to 40-50% of your strength, somewhere around there. But hold it for 2 minutes and then relax. Do that 2 or 3 times, of course, both hands. And over the course of a few weeks, a lot of them are between 6 to 8 weeks, it should lower your pressure. Again, I'm going to be doing this myself at the stand right now. I've just basically started. Now, the other one is spices. Cayenne pepper. I heard if you take a teaspoon of that, and there's reasons and the studies how they loosens the arteries, etc. It's also good for the digestive system. Can't hurt. So I've started doing that, taking 1 spoon, just a little bit of warm water, and taking that a drink. Now, I don't like doing that on an empty stomach. I actually have a little bit of yogurt with my fruit in the morning, so I'll have a few bites of my yogurt. And when I'm in the Philippines, they don't really get yogurt, so whatever, I'm going to have eggs or something like that. Then I take that in the middle of my food. The other thing I'm going to be adding on is cinnamon. Now, cinnamon, you want to be a little bit careful with not having too much of it. Apparently, there can be a buildup, etc. So I'm not going to do lots of it, but I am going to do about 1/4 to 1/2 a teaspoon daily. I'm going to just mix that in with my tea. And that's another one that shows significant drop in blood pressure. And then the other one that I'm kind of curious about is turmeric. Turmeric, or however you pronounce it, whatever. I'm going to try that one. Now, the reason why I'm kind of interested in that one as well is simply because they'll say be careful if you take blood pressure medication, and you may get to the point where it lowers your blood pressure too much. So on that one, I'm going to be taking about a teaspoon, and I'm going to be, now the other thing with that, doing some research on it, it's a little harder to work into your bloodstream, to absorb it. So some of the things they say is black pepper and stuff like that are fatty foods. So I don't want to change my whole diet. I kind of want the simple fix, okay, like we're all looking for. So I'm going to be making this in a drink. So I'm going to be adding my cayenne pepper, the turmeric, and just mix that in a little bit of warm water, give that a down, and then I'll do that while I'm eating some foods. And I'll probably doing that in the breakfast. In the Philippines, I found it's a little bit easier to get, well, not super easy, but you can find them more like free-range eggs, if you will. And they're quite healthy anyway. So I'll be usually eating that there. I'll be incorporating that to help absorb the spices and stuff. So it's going to be interesting to see it. Like I said, if you're not following along, follow along, because this is going to be, I'm the guinea pig over a few months. I'm going to be trying this. Probably I may not do it for 3 or 4 months, but I don't even want to think about checking my blood pressure. I want to stay on this path and just see what happens. Of course, if I start feeling not right, I'll go and get a doctor and take a look at it. But I do have extreme anxiety, so I hate even thinking about it. And I also do believe when they check it, I'm sure it's a little bit higher than it actually is just because of my anxiety. So that's pretty extreme. The other thing is meditation, relaxing. They say that can be a cause, and I think that's I'm probably looking at more on that end as well because, like I said, my anxiety is quite extreme. So I'm going to be trying to do a little bit more of that, just the breathing exercise as well. So I'm incorporating in all of that. You know, at the end of the day, I look at a better diet. All these things can hurt, okay? And this is kind of, you know, based what my whole channel is about, changing your career path, changing, you know, a simpler life, doing things or whatever on a budget, and, you know, having a different shift and looking how things are. And this is part of the reason I want to share all these things and of course my adventures and stuff. But one of the things that have come up is my blood pressure that I don't want to ignore. So I'm going to be taking these steps, sharing it along, and seeing myself how they're gonna work. I think just cutting out the sugars and all that kind of stuff, and the more processed. I don't eat a lot of processed foods, but you know, even breads and all that kind of stuff, I guess to some degree is processed. So it'll be interesting to go along with a different diet in the Philippines and see what all that and how that occurs and stuff like that. So by all means, engage if you have any questions or suggestions as well. I'd love to hear from you. If you found this video a little bit interesting and helpful and want to follow along on all the other adventures I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be sharing different recipes and cooking, and just also part of my channel is just having a different lifestyle, like I said earlier, but traveling on a budget and, you know, having more relaxed, calmer, meaningful life. So if any of this is intriguing to you, please follow along, hit the like button. And again, feel free to engage and ask a question. I'm more than happy to reach out, and also if you have any suggestions, that'd be fantastic. All right, everybody take care, and we'll catch you later. Thanks for watching.